Guys, how's it going? Like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely check out my new merch. I will post the link below on that. I have lots of merch for sale now, shirts and everything. I haven't even gotten one yet, so I will show you that when I get them. But let's get right into the video. A Pulsar 30-770, so this is good for 770 wheel horsepower. Let's go. So now I'm going to put on my wastegates on both my turbos because I actually have a lot of new things to do for this turbo setup so it doesn't overboost and I can control my boost very good. The whole plan is so I can run from 5 PSI to 40 PSI without changing the wastegate spring. That is my goal. I have quite a bit of knowledge in this now from research and development, so let's see what I can come up with. Let's go. All right, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll get right into it. So this is my hot side housing, and this is my twin scroll exhaust system here, okay? The whole entire side of the engine is feeding this side of the turbo. You can literally see the weld. So this is a split housing. So this is for optimal spool. So this will actually, these three will actually feed this side of the turbo, and same with these three. A whole bunch of physics why it's better. One hits the big side of the turbine and one hits the small. So it's quite a bit better, and it actually makes the velocity quicker at lower speeds because everything is compressed into a smaller unit and is pulsated. But staying away from all the technicalities, I'm going to put my wastegate right here. So normally you'd have to run a wastegate on this side of the actual twin scroll and this side. So you'd have to run two wastegates. That is a mega pain. The best way to control boost is through the housing. So I'm literally going to cut a hole here and put my wastegate onto this housing. So I am planning to put my wastegate right about here. So that'll be there. Then I can actually exit my wastegate to my exhaust, so I can still run my muffler if I want, or I can run my dump pipe. I'll just have a V-band dump pipe on there, go straight to atmosphere with it. So things are looking good already. This is going to be fairly easy, and this should definitely be the best way for me to control boost. Weld this V-band onto the housing, and then I'm gonna port it and everything so it has good flow to come out the 90 degrees. It's not optimal for 90 degrees, but if I put it here, I'm not gonna be able to close my hatch, and I have a lot of chances that I will be able to close my hatch, so I want to put it here. I think it'll work. This is a huge wastegate. This is a 40 mil wastegate. This is quite the nice piece too. This is such a cheap unit. This is literally a Pulsar unit as well. I got that bulk buy with this, so I'm super excited on this as well. Biggest gate I've ever ran. Massive. All right, so I'm going to remove the housing just so it's a little easier for me to get at everything. And these are also a V-band style exhaust housing clamps. So it's stupid easy to just take the thing apart. I'm a Pulsar turbo dealer, so if you do want a Pulsar turbo, your boy can hook you up. Just hit me up. I will give you quotes. Simple as that. I do recommend these turbos. I've ran one, so I actually vouch for it. I ran it on the 323. So then simply just pull up, and Bob is your uncle. All right, got my two wastegates, two exhaust housings, ready to go. Everything's out and gutted. Just one 10mm bolt to get this bad boy off. I'm going to cut a hole right here, like I've said time and time over again. Let's do it. I'll make a mark, start cutting, make them the exact same, and let's do it. So this is what I'm dealing with now in Canada. It's cold. It's cold. There's Red Ted. All right, time to go to the shed. Okay, so I did some welding on the inside here, just because I had a hole for where the drill bit went, and then on the sides it went in a little bit. So anyways, I welded in there. So I basically found out that this is very hard to weld because it's a crackable material. So this is cast iron, and I'm using stainless filler. I was using 303 or 305, whatever, and it was cracking like crazy. I did preheat it, then re-weld it, and it's still cracked. So I've been having a little bit of a nightmare here, guys, because this is a $400 freaking housing. So, and same with this one, obviously. So this is not fun. It definitely gets the hair on my back up, which is fun, but you can see a little bit of a crack right there. Right where it's like not. Anyways, so I looked online, used 308 filler. So I'm gonna probably have to grind out all the original weld I did, start from scratch, heat it up, weld it, and then let it cool down really slow. So I'll put a whole bunch of towels on it. I did that yesterday with this guy, but it still ended up cracking, and it might be because of the old stuff I had in there. But everywhere where I welded new, like you can see it's like purple and whatever, is not cracked. It's cracked where it wasn't like welded. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I've got to send it. I might as well try and get to work, right? So I've got my V-band here, and that is going right here. So it's going to be split, so that's good. But I want the center section to come through almost right to this face where my thumb is, because that's where the actual wastegate valve is. And I want it to seal as best I can to keep it a true twin scroll when it's actually shut wastegate, right? So I'm basically gonna have to fit a piece in here, then weld it to here, and then weld the V-band, obviously. So this is gonna be quite the fab job, but I am down. Let's get it. Okay, so I got this completely split. That piece fits in there beautifully. Pretty much completely sealed. So the goal is to have this welded there, so it keeps the split right to the valve. So when the wastegate's shut, it's still a true twin scroll. It'll leak a little bit, but like I'm not terribly worried about that. I'm happy with that. I didn't even necessarily have to do this, but I think what I'll do, preheat this thing, tack this V-band to my housing like that, leave it on there. I'm gonna do all the welding with this on, just to keep the V-band from warping. I think that's the plan. All right, here we go, boys. Time to weld. Got everything bolted up. I'm gonna put them on like that. Guys, I've got another one heating up. I got this one completely covered in a blanket. That was one I just welded. You watched me on that time lapse. So I have to wait like at least 15 hours until this thing's fully cooled. I've got it fully insulated, right? So it'll take a long time to dissipate that heat, and that's what I want. Cool it down slow, let the weld set, and basically what I'm gonna do, heat this one up, do the same thing, wrap it up. Let's hope nothing cracks and it's all gonna be good. So let's just wait and see. All right, guys, so all this is done. I took it out of the blankets and everything, and there's 0 cracked welds. So that really worked out. It's not the prettiest thing on the planet, but I just wanted it to really grab and last forever. That's the whole goal here. So as you can see, this is the split part where it actually goes onto the valve, like so. So the valve is rounded and it goes perfectly on there, seals up within like a millimeter. So that's probably definitely good enough for what I'm doing. These turbos are gonna spool so good that I'm gonna actually have to probably take duty out in the low RPM so I don't overload the engine and blow it up. So it's not a big deal if it leaks a little bit past the wastegate, but I don't think it even is. I think we are good to go here. I'm gonna put these turbos back together. I'm going to get them back on that, And then I'm going to weld on my exhaust tips. Then I'm gonna weld on my exhaust tips, that like the big dump ones, and get them onto these turbos and get everything ready to bolt on when I'm ready to put them onto my car. All right, the wastegate is on, guys. No cracks in the welds. Everything's looking awesome. This is a very hard weld to weld, stainless 2 cast iron. So I'm proud of myself for that. But so I've got the wastegate pointed up because the flow is going this way. So it's more likely for the air to go out if it's on the same path. If I pointed 180 down, that would obviously not be good. So the closer up I can go, the better. So I'm gonna start with that, and then I'll get a tube. I'll get my 1 3/4 tube and have it come down like this, and then go to my exhaust, or just have it dump out right there. So either way, things are looking awesome. I got my feet on, I got it capped, I've got my 2 water lines on. Those are gonna be ran to where my oil cooler is. Things are looking sick, guys. So this is gonna be a really fun part. I'm gonna put the V-band on here and weld up my up pipe. And we'll see what this freaking new technology beast is looking like when I'm done that. Yo, check it out. This thing looks wild all over again. New Terp skis, let's go. 770 horsepower, this is gonna be bananas. It looks awesome. New wastegate really turned out. It's all welded on right to the housing. Let's hope this housing is actually big enough. This is a 0.83. It should easily do over 500 to the wheels like that, so it'll be good either way. Super responsive. This is an absolute setup here, guys, and it's done. This is complete. This could literally get bolted onto the car. I've got my feet in there. Everything's there. I've got my wastegate on. I have a dual port wastegate, so I can actually run like 0 to 30 PSI, because you can pressurize each side individually. I'm gonna be running a 4-port solenoid to control my boost control now, so I will have no changing of springs needed anymore. It'll be all done by the ECU after I finagle some sweet plumbing for this wastegate. I'll show you more about that later. 2 water ports. Got a weld on my fitting for, got to put in a 2-inch HD clamp, but other than that, I'm in the middle of deciding if I want to run a actual mesh screen or a filter. And I think I'm probably gonna do the filter route. Well, I don't know. You get like 10 more horsepower just from running no filter with the mesh. So I don't know. I really care about my engines, but it's also annoying replacing filters every 2 times I use the car because they get clogged up with smoke from the tires, right? Because when you just have the mesh, it sucks it up and motor eats her up, but it also makes your dirty engine, right? Look at that, guys. I'm freaking pumped. The next episode, I'm gonna be continuing on this, and I'm actually building motors, and it's right behind the camera. I've got quite the setup I'm doing to the bottom end. So that is gonna be really cool for you guys to see that. It's a very budget thing, but it will help keep the bottom end together with the extra power this bad boy is gonna be pumping out. So I'll see you then. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.